Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk about all major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and more. I'm Chris, and today we got the Eternals teaser trailer, 2 minutes long, and a ton of information about a movie that we've been asking a lot of questions surrounding the plot, the details, and where exactly the Eternals are going to fit into the MCU timeline. And with the excitement of the trailer, I'm sure you guys have all been able to watch and see a ton of different teaser trailer breakdowns, including one from my buddy, The Cosmic Wonder, who I'm doing a giveaway with. If you want to enter, all you need to do is subscribe to his channel and my channel. We're giving away a Stormbreaker from the Marvel Legends series set. Giveaway ends at the end of the month. Good luck. But since you've probably already seen a ton of different teaser trailer breakdowns, I thought maybe I could use the information from the teaser trailer and piece together a little bit of a theory about where the Eternals actually do fit into the MCU timeline, because it does come off as a little bit confusing. Here are a group of super powerful beings who have been on Earth since what we see in the teaser trailer, the beginning of mankind. In fact, they have taught mankind pretty much everything they know up to this point and have been dwelling amongst them throughout all of the things going on. So where have they been for the last 7,000 years, and where will the Eternals pick up, and does it have any implications for the future of the MCU? Well, I've got 3 theories for you, and I'm going to break them down and tell you what I think the Eternals are going to be in the future of the MCU, the timeline, how it all adds up, and where they're going to be fitting in moving on from here. Let me know what you guys thought about that teaser trailer in the comments section down below. I'm super curious to hear how excited you are and what you thought about the trailer. Does it get you excited for the movie, or are you now a little unsure? Let me know down below. So the synopsis for this movie has taught us something specific, and that is that this movie is going to span across 7,000 years. We saw the beginning of that in the very first part of this teaser trailer when they show up to this indigenous group of people who are living on rocks and tents, and they start to train them and teach them about how to be a civilization, how to create a Mesopotamia, for instance, where we see this big huge building, and now they're starting to grow all the way up to modern time. And we also see this in the trailer as we get a good look at a few of the characters in the modern day timeline. So that's a very huge span of time, 7,000 years, and I think a good majority of this film is going to take place post-snap. So we're going to be catching up with the Eternals after a little monologue and glimpse through 7,000 years of their involvement with the mankind, the human race, and it's going to show us where they are now, what their involvement is now. We heard in the trailer specifically saying we haven't involved ourselves with the human race until now. So what is it that's getting them involved that could be more imposing and dangerous than the snap, which Thanos performed, who is a deviant, which technically makes him pretty much related to them? It's very curious what it is that all of a sudden now, after 7,000 years and all of the crazy stuff you've seen, you want to get involved. And as far as my theories go, my first one is the one I think is probably least likely. It's just not the Marvel way, and that is, this is a one-off Eternals movie, and that's the end of it. We won't hear from them again. The Eternals are going to appear. We'll see that they've been involved in a lot of different ways, how they may have influenced the outcomes of different things, and they're just going to remain in the background. Maybe we'll get an Eternals 2, but they won't really ever completely cross over into the MCU and become known to the Avengers or to the humanity that is living on the Earth at the time. I think this is very unlikely. This isn't how Marvel operates. Everything is connected. Everything has been and always will be, and if anything is only becoming more connected. We're going to see less and less actual solo films that don't include other characters from different parts of the MCU. You know, we have Guardians of the Galaxy showing up in Thor: Love and Thunder. We have Wanda showing up in Doctor Strange. We have Doctor Strange showing up in Spider-Man. It's kind of bouncing all over the place now and becoming this unbottled, crazy multiverse that is opening up and allowing for all characters to show up wherever necessary. So I don't think the Eternals are going to show up in this one Eternal movie and then we'll put them back in the back burner until we need a sequel and we want Angelina Jolie to come back. I think the cast is huge. They've got a lot of up and coming promising actors. They've got a lot of huge actors, and they're going to be using them as a very important pivoting part for the future of the MCU. Now, they do complicate the Phase 4 timeline because, like I said and have been saying, they've been around 7,000 years on Earth. And they're going to have been involved in some way or another, and they're going to have to get into the fray of everything somehow or another. So it will be curious to see how Marvel plans on doing that, and hopefully it is a clean transition. This second theory is probably what we can expect Marvel to be doing with the Eternals. How do they fit into the timeline? Well, this is the introduction of this entire race, the characters. We're hearing that the Celestials are definitely going to be involved. So all of these characters on the cosmic side of the MCU, which we know is going to be a huge branch of Marvel moving forward, are now having an imposing inclusion in everything going on Earth. But they're also going to have effective things going on off of Earth, since the Celestials are completely surrounding the universe, the Deviants surrounding the universe, and doing things the way they always have throughout time and eternity, regardless of Earth. So the Eternals seem to be Earthbound and were created to protect and teach mankind, but things are going on behind the scenes in the universe, and the inclusion of the Eternals is going to give us that look at the Deviants, at the Celestials, and all of these characters who are going to be phased into the cosmic side of the MCU. And of course, we did get that little teaser at the very end, which I think is extremely important and not just a joke, where they're talking about who's going to be the new leader of the Avengers, now that Steve and Tony are both gone.
I could lead them.
And of course, there was a little joke, oh, I can do it, but I don't know how much of a joke that actually is. Maybe there is some interest in some of the Eternals joining the Avengers, becoming actual protectors of Earth, defenders of Earth, and that might be something we see moving forward. A separation of the Eternals group and an Eternal or two jumping over and becoming Avengers and becoming involved in that side of the MCU, while some of the remaining continue their life as is, and again, some others will continue on to the cosmic side and become the Avengers of the universe. However that plans to play out, wherever Thor ends up going, the Guardians of the Galaxy, all of that storyline, they may join up over there and help thwart off the Deviants, the Celestials, or whatever it is that is coming to threaten the universe, because there is going to be something huge that is coming to threaten both the universe and the Earth. Now, it could be two different things, or one big huge thing at the end that's built off these little things, but at the end of the day, I think a separation of the group could be a very interesting way to extend this universe into the MCU. And like I said again, the Deviants, the Celestials, the Eternals, all going off, separating their separate ways, becoming Avengers, becoming defenders of the universe, and all of that playing out really well on the big screen for them to come back together at the end and save the day. That would be another really cool way of doing it. And that's probably what I'm leaning towards as far as what I think will probably happen. Again, they're going to want to do sequels for the Eternals. They're going to want to tell further into the story. And we know there is a very interesting love plot sequence going on in here. A little love triangle that's definitely going to have to pay forward and have probably some ramifications about what's going to happen in the future of the MCU. And then the last theory is a serious contender. It's a fan theory that I've heard from a lot of different big sources. Warren himself has talked about this several times, and that is, this is going to give us an origin story for Thanos. Now, Thanos is over and done with, but that doesn't mean we don't want more information. Where did he come from? And who exactly is it that created him the way he is? Now, we know a lot of the comic book lore, and even Red Skull mentioned who his father was, so I don't know necessarily if this is going to link directly to Thanos, but we know that Thena, played by Angelina Jolie, has a huge secret that is going to probably be revealed throughout the movie and will be a pretty important theme throughout the movie. Now, the theory that a lot of people have mentioned is that Thanos could be her child, and there are some rules and some forbiddenness about having children for the Eternals, especially because of the causing of deviants. And we know that Thanos was a deviant, and that's his connection to the Eternals here, and where this theory is kind of getting played out. I don't know how much I believe this theory, but it would be really cool to have that stepping stone connection, and potentially the reason the Eternals couldn't get involved with Thanos and him snapping away half the universe was because it was Thena's son, and there was all this political issue, and maybe we'll get to see that here in the Eternals film. And that would kind of link it up really nicely and make sense. Now, in the future, after Thanos is over, the Deviants are kind of trying to take over, and it's the Eternals' job to protect and bring it to an end. And that would be where they need to now step in, then go off their separate ways. Some join the Avengers, some join Thor in space or the Guardians of the Galaxy, and some stay put and want to be Bollywood actors forever. I don't know, but it is a very interesting timeline, and the movie spanning across 7,000 years from the beginning of mankind till after the snap is an interesting way to introduce the Eternals and everything that they actually could mean for the MCU moving forward. The timeline's a little messy with this one. MCU is getting crazy Phase 4 is blowing up and rebuilding an insane story plot for the MCU. A lot of people definitely thought after the Infinity Saga ending with Endgame came to a close, the MCU would probably start to dry up a little bit, but honestly, they've come back with a huge punch. WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki coming out soon, the Eternals around the corner, a huge Spider-Man movie coming, so much exciting news and different creations coming from Marvel Studios for Phase 4, this huge rebuilding phase, and the Eternals are a huge part of it moving forward. I believe we're going to get a lot of introductions from this film and a lot of answers for questions we may not have even known we had yet. But let me know your thoughts about these 3 theories in the comment section down below. Which of the 3 do you think is most likely for the Eternals fitting into the MCU timeline, or what do you think is actually going to happen? Let me know your thoughts. As always, thank you to everybody for the very end of the video. If you found it helpful, useful, or entertaining, be sure to subscribe, turn on that notification bell, hit that like button, and I'll see all of you guys in the next episode right here on Cosmic Culture.